All right, thank you everybody for the wonderful lunch, and thank you for staying for the annual meeting. And we're going to ask Kenley to pray us into this meeting.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for our opportunity to get together and just look at this past year of our church and our congregation and what lies ahead of us. Help us to discern, help us to learn, help us to further your kingdom. In your Son's holy name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. So I gave everybody an agenda for the meeting today. On the back of the agenda is the minutes from the annual meeting last year. If everybody wants to scan over that real quick, and then we'll open the floor to a motion to accept the minutes. Anybody else need minutes? Does anybody see anything that needs to be corrected from last year, if you can remember that long ago? I love the note at the end that it started pouring down snow and everybody ran out of here.
I move to accept minutes.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. John, that was either John or Jeremy. Is there any other discussion about the minutes from last year? Okay, all those in favor of accepting the minutes? Thank you very much. All right, we're going to do financial reports, and Donnie's part's going to be pretty long because he's also going to go over the budget for next year at the same time.
I think so.
Do you want to stay here?
Kelly gave me this thing, so hopefully I can do it. Okay, everybody has a copy of, let me get my copies out. Everybody has a copy of our last year's numbers. On the back side, you'll see this, something that looks like that, December 2022. You'll see where we ended the year with an average 46 people attending our church. It's a year-to-date right here. 46 people per week attending with an average offering of $1,601.60. Our goal last year was 1570 or 1560, 1 and 2. Since I've taken it off of there, I don't know if I remember. It was rough. Basically, we beat what our goal was last year. And so when we see this year's budget, I'm just setting our target as if we can do it this year, we should be able to do it next year. And if we do that, we'll see what I set the budget at. Currently, we have $42,133.50 in the general fund. And if you go down, and we have a couple other, we have an improvement fund, which basically is become one of the, and Gary's report that he has, and one of those investments is really where our improvement fund's at. We have $240 in savings and $259 in youth fellowship, and we have $1,400 in the compassion fund. So I'm sitting there right now with the balance in the checkbook of $43,795.05. Now before things changed, I would just keep it in checking because you could get 0.01 interest or 0.02 interest, which you lose 10 cents or something a quarter. But now with different investments coming up, we'll talk to my sister about we want to move some of that money into something that make us a few dollars. But we'll be having that after this meeting and the next meeting. Any questions on that part? Just showing how we did last year. Okay, going to this year, like I mentioned, the budget this year is based on an average income of $1,600 per week. You'll notice what I've got is two lines, the actual, how the year ended, the budget that we were going for last year, and the budget this year. And you'll see we brought in, I don't know, about $1,400 more than our goal was, or $600 more than our goal was. We had some unexpected expenses through the year. We had to buy a mower and hot water heater, little things like that. So that's why when you get to the bottom of this, we end up spending $91,600 versus $89,200 because we've had those unexpected expenses, but that's what savings are for, if they covered it. What I'm looking at this year as far as projected budget, we spent $91,693 this year, and looking at a budget next year, $92,344. So basically the same budget. It did go up from last year's budget, but the main reason for that, which we're all seeing, is our gas, Columbia gases went up, electrics went up, insurances went up, probably close to $1,000. Just normal stuff that we're all seeing. And that's why I'm so impressed by how we did with our offerings for people are going through some tough times, and they did very good at their commitment to the church and helping us through the year. So with that said, we started, I told Rob that as soon as I got here, I knew I'd find a number wrong. The number wrong, it should be 23. In 2021, January, we had $50,000 in the checking in the general fund. January 2022, we had $48,000. And January this year, we have $42,000. And I'm looking at, if the offering comes in right, last year we transferred, we used $6,604, excuse me. We used $6,600, I'm getting the wrong number, I'm sorry. We used $5,936 of that, and this year we're looking to use about $6,000 to make it. It's, for all intents and purposes, the same budget we had last year as this year. I know it's a lot of numbers to throw at you guys. I live and breathe them, so I probably talk a little too fast too sometimes. Any questions about the budget?
Yes.
Very good job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Can you go to page 2?
Page 2.
Can you talk about the ministries, like what the plans are?
Okay, the ministries, as everyone knows, we started our ministries and we gave them a budget to use for, like on fellowship, we'll use ours. Like today, it was $108 for the fried chicken and things like that. Worship used it. Theirs last month was $350 of theirs went to get our organ fixed, and it's playing beautifully now. Education is basically your Bible study, books and stuff for Sunday school if you need it. We have $250 extra in here. So Kim has a little bit of money for the things that she's doing too, which is greatly appreciated. And which, did I get them all? Worship and outreach has $500 also. Outreach also has the benefit of, we started our compassion fund, and our compassion fund last year's now, since last year's sale, has a balance of $1,400, which we have, or they have on their group to suggest ideas of, doing things for the fire department, things like that. So even though they carry about a $500 budget, they have basically a slush fund that they can use for other things for the community. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Bible school, the Bible school promotes education also, the Texas
It does.
Bible school, because that was a chunk.
Yeah, and last year we spent a total of $1,160, and a lot of it was due to like books that people were buying, that kind of thing, and this year it's I know Sunday school with Don is more Bible based, so we'll have probably less expense there. But I think we'll still be fine. I really do. I also put a little bit extra money in the miscellaneous where you never know what's going to pop up there. Our bookkeeper's in there. I got a slush fund about $900 for because things are going to pop up. I mean, Kelly had something that popped up yesterday that it's a couple $100 to help this computer system work a little bit better. But I think we do. I think as a church we do very well with what we have. And as far as offering, everyone gives what they can give. and we do very well. And we were actually a little bit behind. We probably were going to fall about 1,500 to 2,000 short of our goal, but it just so happened the last day we received a check for $2,000. I mean, which jumps us, and then we get another check, the offering prior for $1,000, and another. So in the last couple days, we ended up getting like $4,000 of unexpected money, which.
What would our weekly offering be so that we wouldn't have to take anything else?
You'd have to take, and I don't have my calculator, you'd have to take whatever, $6,600 divided by 52, whatever that works out to. 6600 divided by 52. We'd have to bring in about $120 extra a week if you didn't want to put from savings.
Okay. So that would put us at 1720.
So,
Yeah.
Weekly.
oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. But so be there. That would do it. And then again, I looked at it. You know, I also do the report, and I'll be giving it to everybody at the end of the month about how much each family gives. I do that, and I think if I went through it, there's 45, 48 different individuals or families that give to the church. So if you divide that 48 by, technically, if everyone gave like $3 extra a week, you'd be there to 120. So it's not a big stretch. So that's why it doesn't worry me as much, because and we lose families and we gain families, and it's worked out to be about the same. Now we'd love to gain a lot more families. Yes, sir.
With the extra giving the last couple Sundays, how much did that defray, how much did it defray them to take out savings to make the budget?
We would have had to take closer to $10,000 out of the budget than the 6 that we took out. So it made a huge difference. And when I did my forecast, I was forecasting we'd be about, hey, I'll take 10 out versus 6. And maybe that news got around and people, I don't know, but it worked out really well. But if we wouldn't have got it, it would have pulled about 10,000 out versus 6. Any questions?
Any more questions about the budget in particular, because we need to vote on that for next year?
When we accept the budget.
So we have a motion to accept the budget as presented. Is there a second? Right. All right, any other discussion before we vote on it? All right, all those in favor of accepting the budget as presented? Thank you.
Hey.
All right, so,
Years.
if you want to hear, sure.
Okay. Now, investments. Gary handed out his report. Thank you, Gary, for and Cindy. Oh yes, and Cindy.
It's a team effort.
Well, thank you, Cindy. As everyone has experienced, investments aren't. It's hard to call them investments right now, but last year we'd gained roughly 12-15%. This year we're down roughly 12-15%. So they're not doing terribly bad, but I think they're doing a lot better than a lot of other people's investments, if that makes everyone feel better. But again, we don't have any big expenditures, so our investors basically says you don't lose money until you take it out, then you'll never get it back. We have no reason to pull it right now, so we can let ours ride as the market gets better, and we recoup some of our money. You'll see here we have, and Gary did a very good job on the next page. People ask, where did all these funds come from? What are they in general? And you'll see there's the Nash General Fund, which was donated by Francis Nash, who used to be our organist, and Kinley has it pretty easy now, because when Don was preaching, she'd be over there, start strumming on the organ when it was time to stop preaching. She said, if you can't say it in 15 minutes, it's not worth saying it. Is that right, Don?
Donna, don't get any ideas.
I didn't know I ever tapped it too many times.
So she left money to the church, which is in a general fund. That's what we pull from. Well, right now we have cushion in our checking, but that's where we would pull from if we need to make the budget. The parsonage fund at one point We shared this, the building beside us was our parsonage between us and County Line. And before my time, it was sold, and that was basically our half of the sale. Is that correct, Gary? Scholarship fund, as everybody knows what the scholarship fund is, you know, you participate, is it 26 times? Remind me? 26 times, and we'll pay $3,000 towards your college. I think we might have 4 people signing up right now, I think. That was also donated by Francis, and I think it started out years ago of being 70 some odd thousand. It started out, and it's now got itself up to 138,000. At one point, it was 170,000. We've given scholarships out through the years. And then Reverend Heist, who was a pastor here many, many, many years ago, left us some money in his will, and it's now at $44,000. So, and that one there, that one's a fund we really haven't pulled on. That, since there wasn't a current need right now, that money's set aside so if a member of a church, as it says here, it can assist, Trinity should be there to assist in fire, auto accident, extended illness, things like that for members of the church. So if you're a member of church and you're in financial need, please ask, because that money's there for people to use. Okay?
And when the first person to ever get it was Harold.
Right. When Dennis passed, right?
No,
It was when Carol was there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, okay. So again, that's there, and I thank Gary and Cindy for writing this up so people can better understand what it's for. So currently, you can see how much we have in investments right now. I'd say it's, I don't have it added up in my head, but it's, I don't know, somewhere shy of $300,000 or so. Scholarship fund has a balance of, at the end of the year, $3,366.32, but Gary's paid out $3,261 to 2 young folk who are going to college, so there's just a few dollars left in that. Memorial has a balance of, in a checking, at $675 and a savings of $22.16. Now, people have asked what Memorial is for. You know, when someone passes, they ask that money be donated in memory of. The first thing it does is pay for the meal and any expenses associated with that individual. And after that, a lot of times what we do is use it for things like if an example of an organ needs tuning, we could use it for that. Different things like that, or something that the church needs that we could do in their name. You know, a lot of people who go to our church, we know what they were passionate about.
And we also put a plaque.
Right. Their name is added to the memorial plaque back there. So any questions for Gary and Cindy? And we all, any guest questions? Yes, for Gary and Cindy. Okay, that's just, nothing needs to be done there, it's just FYI.
All right, Kinley, that's your report.
All right, a couple notes from me. My goal has always been to average about 16 visits a month, which is about 192 for a year, and this year I did 225, so I beat my goal. Last year we had 1,202 online views, so that's an average about 100 a month. But last month we are up to 176. So our online presence is there, so people are viewing. Couple highlights. I thought our planning session went well this year with looking at like the life cycle of the church, and I'm excited to see us move forward and see how God is moving us in different directions and examine who we actually want to be. Moving forward, I hope our ministries will continue to meet and set goals and lead our church, and to have everyone in the congregation to be involved with at least one ministry. So if you haven't been involved with the ministry, it's not that hard. Just figure out which one you feel like you would like to be in contact with, and we ask that you try to join in with that. Things are already moving ahead. This year, as you know, we started Children's Church. We're going to have Fellowship Month, and I'm really excited about that. We are worked with the Brethren Church for Christmas Day service, and then on February 1st, we have our 3 members that are going over to talk with 3 members over there and figure out things that we can do together. So that partnership can continue to grow. So I'm excited about that. Things that we've done, we added the praise hymn into our worship, which I think has been positive. For me, moving forward, one of these weeks, I don't know if it's going to be in January or February, I'm just going to take a week and try to make some videos that we can put on our website, and then put a QR code on a new business card, and that card is what you'll hand to people when they ask about what church you go to, or you want to say what church you want to go to. And if they scan the code on their phone or something, it can go right into a video talking about our church, instead of them having to type it in. They scan the code, and it'll be my face there going, hey. So that could be good.
Turn it off, turn it off. I'm sorry, can't have it now.
That's all right. And, and if there's anybody that wants to, feel like they would like to be a part of a video that we could put on there, we could put several, whether it's Kim, you talking about your ministry, or somebody else talking about their ministry. That would be a great way that we could just tie that all in, so people could really find out who we are. And I think that, because you can say our church is great, and you say, oh, they're so nice, but if they can scan it and see what somebody else is talking about certain things, that could be exciting. So I'm excited about that. And that's my report. Do you all have any questions of anything from my side?
You're doing a great job.
Well, thank you. Any questions about anything or concerns?
How are the shut-ins? Like how are Bill and Jenny and
Huh?
Bonnie and
They are doing well. It's ups and downs, Nancy's doing well. Sometimes she's having health issues and sometimes she's not, but she has a good group of neighbors that check in on her. The Showalters, they have an immense amount of family that check in on them, but they're doing well. Ed's a little bothered about his legs right now. He's having a little trouble walking, but Bonnie's mind and her spirit is, she's just amazing. And then Jenny and Bill, Cindy and Gary can tell you a little bit about Bill and Jenny. They're doing okay, but that's being a caregiver 24 hours, 7 days a week can wear on you a little bit. So I'm sure Gary and Cindy was able to go and sit with Bill last week while Jenny had a doctor's appointment. And then they found out they needed to get a washer and dryer, and now Gary and Don are putting washer and dryer in for them. So, they really enjoy everything that the church provides for them. Don goes and gets their trash every once in a while and takes it to the dump. All 4 of the people that we went and sang to, even Maxine, they enjoy being connected to the church. So when we went and sang and visited with them, that meant a lot. So when I talked about doing that once a quarter, even if it's not Christmas songs, if we just go sing and give them a flower or something, that means a whole lot to them. So I think that's something that we should consider doing. Any other questions? All right, well, let's look at some ministries. Remember our diagram here with worship being at the top, and then we have education and outreach and fellowship, and Christ being in the middle. So I had you guys send me pictures to make you some slides, and I know some of you have some people that will come up and talk, but I will do worship, if that's all right. Just a review of our worship. I thought we had a bunch of different series this year, and these were just a few. And do y'all remember these, or had any of them stick out to you? Hopefully the sermons and messages have stuck, and you gotten something out of them. I know I have, just preparing them. So, and then some of the services, we have the picture of the Brethren Church singing with us, and we had an Ash Wednesday service for the first time here. We had Monday, Thursday, and just our regular communion. I'm looking forward to maybe doing an Ascension service, because I've never done one before. Ascension, thinking about the day that Jesus goes to heaven. And why do we not recognize that? So I'm thinking about having an Ascension service so that we can come celebrate that. You know, we had Pentecost Sunday where we lit the candles and we did different things. And even at Monday, Thursday, we did foot washing this year. So we're doing some things. And we're challenging probably some boundaries that we haven't done before. But in the end, I think it's been really refreshing. Some of our guest speakers and stuff that we had this last year, Margie came and spoke to us, and Buzz did, and then Christopher spoke, and then we had that awesome dance group that performed here. That's one of the things that we've kept in the budget, right? If you have some people or somebody that you think, oh, this person would be a great guest speaker, or you think they have a great testimony, or you would like to share your testimony, we would love to be able to and put that in part of our service. So think about that and just kind of let me know, and we can kind of plan around that. That is the worship, and I gave each one of the ministries questions to ask. So one of the questions is, where did you see our congregation at its best? And I think it's when we were challenged, doing new stuff. I thought we were, doing a praise hymn and doing things like that. We were challenged, or foot washing, or Ash Wednesday. We were challenged, and I thought we rose to the challenge. Where did we make impact in people's lives? Hopefully just each worship service, that we're challenged and we go away praising God. And the last one is, where do you find finding a growing edge or a challenge in our ministry? Well, we're growing, and things are not done exactly the way they've always been. So there's that edge that we're always growing with. So that's worship. Any questions for the worship ministry? All right. Education.
I guess that's me.
I guess that's you. You don't know what order the slides are in or anything. That's a challenge. There's Vacation Bible School, journaling. Right?
Okay. So in answering the questions that Kinley gave us, when we saw our congregation at its best, and I think Bible school, as far as our ministry, Bible school was the biggie, because it drew from every ministry we had. We had help with outreach. We had help from the fellowship. So it was a great success. We had a lot of participation. Kids in the community came. It gave us an outreach, like I said, opportunity for outreach, and we served the children. And it was just really cool to see everyone that helped, and we opened our hearts and we did it, and I didn't know if it was going to get pulled off, but it did. So Bible school was a very big thing, and we're hoping maybe that's something we are going to be able to do in conjunction with the Brethren Church. So keep that in mind. The other, we had Sunday school classes. The adult Sunday school class and is going strong, and thanks to Don for taking over for that one. And then Emily had her journaling class, the art journaling class, and that took off pretty good, and then fizzled a little bit with attendance. But we might be starting that one up again. I'm thinking. The other that was amazing, and really Kim shared a little bit about it at church, but with the health nurse, the parish nurse, we had our 6-month health challenge. 15 people participated. She told us who the winners and such were. And as a participant, it was just a very nice, it helped me sort of reflect a little bit more and be more conscious of things and what I could do to improve my life. So that was helpful. And even though there was maybe not, weight loss, some of the participants, the journaling was therapeutic. Their daily devotions and Bible reading brought them a closer relationship with God. People were more conscious about making doctor's visits and appointments to get checkups and such. So we're glad that Kim did that and is going to continue. She also did a parish nursing page for the church website, so we can. That's a very good resource, as well as her office. And we started Bible study on Wednesdays again, and we have a pretty good group in Bible study. Lightning hasn't struck church yet, so I guess we're okay with doing things we say in Bible study.
We're not letting Roy choose the boat next time.
Not next time. I apologize.
And as far as number 2, the question of the impact we have on people's lives, we are trying to bring them closer to God. We're trying to educate and encourage. And the biggest challenge is just to have the people come. The children come and the people come, the teens come, and we'll do something for them if they get here. I guess that's it. Any questions?
Thank you. All right, outreach. Y'all want to see the slides before you get up here? I had this one. I have this one. And I have this one.
Oh, right, good.
Sorry, one of our members is not here, but I think we can make up for that. The outreach and inreach ministry is very unique in the fact that we are a group that works together through our relationships to better encourage, give, and serve our communities. That's a pretty broad statement. We selected early on several activities we wanted to do for both the outreach and inreach in our communities. The list kept growing. We narrowed it down last year to 12 major activities we did over the past year. Just a few minutes, I'll share just some of those real quickly, so listen carefully. We did the bake and take, which Kathy's going to talk to you a little later about that. We sponsored the college students with care packages. We sent cards for all prayer concerns. We did Christmas caroling. We did the blessing box. We did love offerings, clothing drives. We helped a neighbor with her house caught on fire. We helped them there. We did a love offering to the Farm Bureau. We expressed appreciation to our first responders. We did a church fundraiser to support our community needs. We did the pork barbecue sandwiches, which was very well supported. We updated our visitor bags. We built a strong media presence. We put our ad in the Daily News Record that we were 140 years old, and I think some of you saw that last year. We also put an ad in the Daily News Record as far as our Bible school. I challenged all the members to serve in ways in which they felt comfortable and which was their gift, and they all participated in that. We have several activities already planned for next year, but I think next year's activities will continue with some of these, but we've added some additional activities, and we'll be sure to keep you posted on that. I've asked Kathy to talk a little bit about the bake and take that she did this year, which was just well received. And she's going to be answering some of the questions that we had earlier about the impact it had on our church.
There have been a whole lot of people who have participated in baking for this ministry. Some were monthly bakers who baked the same week every month. Some were fill-ins when those people needed to take a step back for a minute and somebody would fill in for them. But always there was somebody to volunteer when we had that need. I think at our best, the congregation really shines when we share what gifts we've been given. And for some, it's monetary. For some, it's music or carpentry. But for some of us, it's sharing baked goods, because baking with heart. And so that's what we've done. And I think we make a huge impact on those that Kinley visits because it gives a direct connection with the congregation to those people who can't come every Sunday. And even those of us who are visited who do come, it reminds us that, sharing a gift that you've been given is important, and whatever that form takes. So I think, too, the challenge for this committee, though, or this ministry, would be that the same people have been baking now this is going on the second year. We have switched it up a little this year, which is a huge blessing. And so I think that's going to be the challenge is if those same people want to continue with it or if new people want to step up. I will say that we're really happy to report that all positions are full for 2023. So thank you for those of you who volunteered for 2023.
Okay.
And then our last ministry, fellowship. You want to see the slides before we talk? Oh, okay.
We didn't particularly answer the question at our last meeting, except that we're all about fellowship and feeding people. So we felt like our three main areas were second family events, and this is the example of the chili cook-off. We also did games at Popcorn in March, and then kind of along with that goes all of our meals like homecoming, Maundy Thursday, Mother's Day, Father's Day, those kind of events. The other one was, this is the first year we tried to create like a ladies' social group, really. At the beginning of the year, we did a stained glass class, which was a lot of fun at Harrisonburg. Then one was the Christian concert at Rockingham County Fair, which we probably won't do again. That wasn't very popular. The last one was the very popular pie crust making with John. Some of the feedback that we got from the ladies when we passed out the cards is they wanted fun events to do together, but also to learn something new. So learning the pie crust was a lot of fun. We had a good time doing that. The third area that we feel like is a big impact to the church is Java for Jesus. I want to thank everybody who signs up for that. If you haven't done it before, it can be super simple. It does not have to be a gourmet breakfast. It's just a couple snacks to get people to go and visit with others instead of just going to your seat and sitting down. So we feel like Java for Jesus is very important to our church. Yes, new stuff we want to try. We are so excited about February. When we had our meeting last week and talked about it, which if anybody would like to join us, we promise not to burden you with doing every single thing, but more hands obviously help. But our group is very excited and had a good meeting about February.
And eat well.
What?
And we eat well.
We eat well. So when we talked about it last week and we said yes, Kinley gave us some suggestions for every week in February, and we kind of tweaked them and decided what we wanted to do, like Super Bowl being Super Bowl Sunday, and then donuts and coffee, which we said yes to. But I didn't know until this morning that we're making the donuts. We're not getting them as Straits. We're not buying them at Krispy Kreme. We're making the donuts.
What year is that?
What year is it?
You said of course sacrifice.
Yes. Gary said, surely you don't think we're buying them. And I said, surely I thought we would. I've never made a donut before, but between Gary and Cindy and John and Robin and probably Jillian and some others will figure it out. So we're really excited about those events coming up in February. I've talked to a couple of ladies in the church about what kind of things that they want to do upcoming, and Kim has offered to have a ladies' tea at her home. Date and time to be announced, but it'll probably be in the first quarter, so maybe like mid to late March we'll do that. I'd love for you to come to that, because then we can kind of talk about what we want to do for the rest of the year. We'd like to do something that's like for the ladies only once a quarter. So we can talk about that. Anything else? Any questions?
Game night,
We could do
we used to
that.
have that all the time. I know Halloween was a fellowship
We got
night.
game night this year.
We had it in
I
January.
think we did that one night, didn't we?
No, we did it in March, games and popcorn. And we can do that again. We try to,
There's so many good games out there, the newer ones too, that are just fantastic.
we can talk about it with our committee. I mean, we try not to overplan the annual meeting, of course, today. And then we have something for every Sunday in February. We could potentially talk about something in March. In April, we're getting into Maundy Thursday, Shrove Tuesday, Easter, which we might have an exciting announcement about that, I'm not sure.
Oh, you can announce it.
I think it was John's idea. John has suggested that we bring back sunrise service on Easter Sunday. I'm embarrassed to admit I have never been to a sunrise service. It used to be held at this church 20 years ago, but our children were always little, and I wasn't waking them up at 6 o'clock to go to church. But John mentioned it, and why that's important to our ministry is we're going to provide breakfast. So we'll have sunrise service, which Emily has agreed to, and then we'll have breakfast, and then we'll also have our regular service too, for people that want to come later or want to come eat and go to the second service or go to both services.
And that might be something that the Brethren Church wants to join in with Sunrise, so that might be exciting too.
Who is our committee to meet with them? Donnie, Bren,
Now, Donnie, Abby, and Gary.
Donnie, okay. Perfect.
They're gonna be February 1st.
No, it's
I
me,
think it's just
Abby.
us three, yeah.
Yeah,
It's me, Abby, and
Gary.
Okay.
And then, I mean, we tried to plan for the first 6 months. We have Father's Day breakfast in June, Mother's Day breakfast in May. We'll be talking about church picnic, where do we want to do that, when are we going to do that, that kind of thing. So, but Don, we'll be happy to look at a date for game night. That would be great. Anything else?
All right, so fellowship is excited about February, so now it's our job to make sure we bring some friends to join in with that fun. So, I guess it's old business. You want to go to old business?
I don't really know that we have any old business to cover from last year. That was such a quick meeting. I don't think we really have any.
New business is I would like a volunteer to be in charge of the pictures that are taken, or if somebody else takes the picture, you're the person that keeps the pictures throughout the year. So that if we have somebody baptized or we have somebody's in charge of having those pictures. Because if they get sent to me, then I get lost. I just need somebody to be like the historian. So then I can go to the historian and say, do you have these pictures from the year? And that they could. So would anybody be willing to be like the person that people sends the pictures to, or making sure they get the pictures taken? Oh, we have a volunteer. So Abby is the picture person.
Sure, absolutely.
All right.
I love pictures.
What would you call this position, like?
Yeah, what,
Photo archivist or?
historian, well, you said
Historian, I don't know.
Yeah.
Good job.
I don't mind.
Whatever you write down in the notes is what we'll call it.
there you go.
So be careful what Robert's calling you. I don't have any other business.
Okay, moving on to consistent.
You got new business?
Kenley, with all the changes that have gone on, it's been a number of years since we've done a yearbook.
A yearbook.
The yearbook would be nice with family pictures and
Okay.
we
Like
can
a-
identify people by name and place, with all the information.
Okay.
We've done two, in my time here, we've done two yearbooks. but it's been a long time.
So like a photo directory.
Before the record.
Isn't that on the internet?
Hmm?
Isn't that the internet? Also, Kinley, for our worship part, I forgot up there, we need to have 2 people that would volunteer to greet at the door.
Oh, so we need greeters to sign up for a month, so that we have somebody that greets people on the way in.
I asked somebody for March and they said yes, and I forgot who it was. Did anybody remember saying yes for March?
And that's not me.
We're doing February.
Oh, okay.
I'll be asking.
Oh,
March, okay.
Dean's
So
doing
you
it.
show up and somebody else shows up.
Yeah.
And with that, you're the one, the greeters will also help the kids ring the bell, or Doug does that.
Doug does the bell, they do the candles.
So then, as the greeters, you will help with the acolyte to get them.
All right, next, consistory members. We have 3 positions to fill. Robert and Paula, thank you so much for the last 4 years that you have served as the consistory. And the 3 positions are going to be Jeremy, who's volunteered, Abigail, who's volunteered, and Alice Baker, who's volunteered. Is Alice here?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are the 3 positions. We've announced that for the last 2 weeks, but Kinley has also said if there's anybody else that's interested, we can have other nominations today. Any other nominations for any of those positions for consistory members?
I move to close nominations.
Okay, nominations are closed. We're voting on those 3 people. Do I have a second?
I say.
Willie's a second. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor? Thank you. Reappointing trustees, that's you.
I have this is just a little bit of house cleaning. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit with Susie because after Robert read the bylaws and pointed out that I hadn't read the bylaws, thank you, Robert. he didn't say it that way, but he's keeping me honest on it. Because I've never read the bylaw portion about the trustees. I knew you had to announce it. I knew you had to give time for people to come forward for nominees. But I thought you just voted as soon as the 2 weeks over. But when you read the bylaws, it says the vote has to be done in the annual meeting. So we're actually going to have 1 extra vote than we really needed. The other thing that the bylaws say, which Gary and I were not aware, Gary and myself are the other 2, that you need to reappoint your trustees every 10 years. I know I've been 10 years, and Gary was longer than me. So what I'd like to do is if we could make it official and reappoint all 3 trustees today, so we know, starting in 2022, whoever's still around in 2032, to remind that person we need to do it again. 23? Oh, okay, 2023 versus 2033. So if we're around in 2033, remind someone to do this. So we need to, sorry. We need a motion to reappoint all 3 trustees, and so Robert can put it in the minutes and make it official. Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second? Any further? Roy made a motion. Sydney seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Thank you very much. And what was the other one I had to clean up?
The other thing is good.
This one I'll give to Robert, so he can just put down what I said here. Everyone, unfortunately we lost Wanda this year, and she did a lot for the church. She's on a lot of accounts. The consistory made a motion to replace her on a couple accounts, but we didn't do all of it. So what I need a motion to do is, and I guess I can make a motion. I need to make a motion that we're going to move Virginia King is currently on our savings. Susie is my backup on checking, so I'd like to put Susie as a backup on savings. We need to take Wanda off memorial accounts and put Susie short on those, because the trustees are basically the ones on the memorial accounts. And remove Wanda on the scholarship fund and put Amy Simmers on the scholarship fund to write checks. So next year you can get with me, Gary, or Amy, whoever you see, to write your check for the scholarship. And I'll give this to Robert, so he's happy. So I'd like to make a motion to make those changes. So I get a second. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
What were the 2 things I was doing?
You are on general fund.
Okay, general.
You and me are general fund and the savings.
Okay.
So, and you have to know you get it.
Okay.
And on the memorial, all three of us are on that. And the way we've got it on the scholarship fund is that basically we get two signatures, basically two trustees sign on, one trustee and Amy will sign on the checking account or the checkbook or the check, what have you. I think it's on there. They get clean. And I can just take Robert's notes, take it to the bank, and they can make the changes for us.
What was that?
So you don't need to vote on that, or?
Do we do a vote or skip right past it? We made a motion.
Pass it, you made a
We
motion.
made a motion. Who seconded it? Anybody?
John did.
Okay. All
We
those-
voted on it.
We did vote on it?
Oh, I thought we got Susan.
No, he said raise hand.
Okay.
You could have convinced me I didn't.
Is there any other new business anybody wants to discuss?
I will say I changed up my office, so if you haven't been in there, we got rid of the big metal desk. So a wheelchair can pass freely in there, so there's plenty of room. The only other thing is thinking about where we would put kind of like a nursery or a place if somebody has a little baby that would come. And so I've been toying around. I don't know whether we can turn that storage room into something there, that we could paint the walls and make it look nice. But then we have storage. We have stuff in there that we're storing. So I don't know where that would go. But I talked to Susie, and Susie said if we had,
It's kind of small, but I guess if we open the whole space, like the hallway, and it's really cold out there right now. And it's kind of,
I don't know, I'm just trying to think about where we would. So that's.
Okay, Grace, did you have something?
I just want to thank you all again for the scholarship that I'm receiving each year, and the gift basket that I got when I moved in. Just thank you all for your support.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Any other new business to be brought up today?
I just got a question. Are we working on thinking about redoing the ramp in the back?
I have spoke with, I know Willie spoke with the contractor who's too busy. I spoke to a contractor who's busy, and we want to get an estimate to see what it's going to cost.
So we are moving forward.
We're moving forward to get an estimate.
Right.
Now,
I have one other
if
guy.
it comes back and it's,
Right.
we'll have to make a different decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're definitely moving forward doing it. It appears, what we're looking, the contractor I talked to, we're talking about, you almost have to make a, short of a better word, a bridge from here to there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
on the same level.
Yeah.
So you end up having basically a big, long deck kind of thing that takes you from one to the other. But it's, what's that?
So it would be like a deck, would there be any
But
railing or anything?
You don't have to be railing,
Okay.
yes, but it'll be basically, I think it's almost level from the parking lot to the,
Yeah, it would just be a longer slope. That's what you would
yeah,
probably.
yeah. So we are doing it, but getting a contractor to walk you nowadays kind of.
Well, it's like we talked about smaller jobs, the smaller contractors, the ones getting worked out in the deal, because now, like, for them to pour concrete, they don't have an X amount of yards. They got to pay extra $600 because it's not a full load.
I'm hoping our town maintenance supervisor who actually, he has a contracting company too, I'm hoping I can get him to give us a bid on it too.
Yeah. I have one other gentleman I can talk to also.
Yep, still in the works.
How about the AD requirements that they have to get updated, or somebody to make sure you follow it all the way categories?
We'll talk to them, make sure they do it. I think there's
we have to do it by code, but there's got some.
when we did Bill and Jenny's, it had to be so many inches per foot and all that. I think this was gonna be basic straight, so I think it'll be more like hanging around with that, but we'll make sure. And if, again, that brings something up. If you have, the property committee is really myself, Gary, and Robert, and, things. If you have a certain talent, let us know what that talent is, because we'll definitely pull on that talent. I know Willie's thing is electrical. And if you notice that light wasn't working, and and you're going backwards wires, lights and switches, and that's Willie's deal, so Willie will be figuring that out. So if you have a certain talent that you like doing, Don does all kinds of stuff too. If you have that talent, let me know what it is, and we'll make sure we have you on the, if this happens, we're calling this person. Okay.
Is there anything else from anybody? Make sure you take your food from downstairs, except if you're a part of the consistory for next year, please stay, and please come up front. We're gonna have a really short meeting. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes, I don't think.
Yep.
All right, thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, do you want to play? Kelly's good.
Okay, I'll see you.